All right, it is recording. Hi, ladies. Happy Monday. Welcome to our community group call. I am in Florida right now, and the AC in the house, it's super cold, even though it's 85 degrees outside, which is lovely. But I still battling a little bit of how can I say, jet lag. I feel tired all the time. It sucks, but it's, I know it gets better, right? As you progress. Seema doesn't even know anymore like what jet lag is because she lives on the jet lag. She lives all over the world. Anyways, so excited to be on this call today. I know people are traveling and whatnot, but we can see you ladies asking for the recording later, which I love because we are doing this. Let me just get some people in here. We always do this to support you. And today's call is going to be one of my favorite, which is going to be a call about your why. We wanted to, chat with you ladies a little bit again about, some of you, I don't know, I just feel it. You can tell me what you think. Maybe you send us a message later for the ones that are watching this later. But for the ones that are on the call, would love to hear a little bit, from you as well. Sorry, I have somebody else getting in here. This summer has been very interesting, because we, I truly believe that we teach you, something that is very sustainable, right? And when I talk about sustainability, I'm not talking about, you can do whatever you want, so and you're going to still stay on track, because it doesn't work that way, right? I think that, it's important to how can I say, redefine what the word sustainability means. A lot of times we get desensitized about certain words, and I believe that, sustainability, if you would compare, just wanting to take a minute to think about, in the past, okay, before you came into the program, in your weight loss journey, okay, in the past was all about an event, right? So every time you had a wedding or you had a trip or you had something that was coming up, you would go into this, I needed to go into a diet mode, right? Remember those days, right? And then you would, find a friend that lost, I don't know how many pounds on doing Jenny Craig's or doing whatever, Optavia, whatever fad, right? And then what would happen at that point? People would literally strip away every fun that exists from your life, right? You couldn't drink, you were on 1,000 calories, meal plan with nothing, delicious or whatsoever, just eating, chicken and broccoli all day and drinking tons of water, right? And you would go into that thing for, God knows, 2 to 3 weeks, and you would lose some weight, and you were happy that you were losing weight, but you were miserable that you couldn't sustain that, right? So that was the norm, right? When we talk about weight loss, right? So there was no sustainability. And remember the days that you would get into that and you're like, okay, I needed to lose 10 pounds, right? For whatever thing that is going on for you. And remember that you would always start on Monday, right? Because Monday was like, okay, it's going to be after the weekend. And then I remember, I don't know if you can relate to that, because I totally can. I remember that I would go like, oh my gosh, I would eat everything under the sun on that weekend. I would go burger, French fries. I would go milkshake. I would go pizza. I would be like, oh my gosh, because Monday, I'm going to start this diet. You know what I mean? And I know that I'm not going to be able to eat none of this and I'm going to suffer. So I'm just going to eat all of this stuff, right? And I remember the mindset. Can you relate to that? Because I totally remember those days. You see what I'm saying? And then Monday, my life was miserable. Now I'm starting cutting all this thing. And the other day I got an Uber and the lady was literally talking about, exactly that. She was like, she had a shake on her car, a milkshake, and she had some things and she was talking and she was like, yeah, Monday I'm going to start this diet, because she had just picked me up from the gym. And she thought that she would talk to me like that. And she was like, oh, so glad that you're working out. Monday I'm going to start this diet. So I'm just really enjoying myself right now because, Monday's going to happen. And I was just like, oh my God, I don't miss those days. I don't miss those days at all, because no, that's not how it works anymore. Right. So thank you, Melanie, for relating to that. For those of you that are not saying anything, I know you're either busy or you're lying, one of those two, but because that was the story, right? So it wasn't sustainable. Okay. So that's why we couldn't stand doing that thing for too long. And the minute that we stopped, we would go back eating all that junk that we missed, right? And then we would gain all the way back, right? So that was the story. So now when I talk about sustainability, okay, what I'm talking about is, yes, we're still going to have to restrict, quote unquote, a little bit, right? When you're trying to lose some fat and build muscle and all of that. But if you think about the restriction that we teach you in this program compared to what it was, it's nothing. Like, seriously, sign me up all day long, because I literally just had a piece of chocolate on my macros and I'm so happy I did. Okay. No problems, no guilt whatsoever. Right. Yesterday I went and I had a steak and I was able to put it on my macros and no problem whatsoever. Now, mind you, I cannot have, 5 donuts back to back. Right. I'm just winking here to someone, and not expect to gain some weight with that. But my point is, what does sustainability means to you? Okay. Because I really need you to redefine sustainability for you, right? Drinking every night and having 3 glasses of wine every weekend on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's not sustainability. I'm sorry, it's not, right? Sustainability for me is just like I can go to dinner and I can get 1 or 2 glasses of wine, every weekend. That's for me sustainability, because if I'm on a fat diet, I couldn't do that at all. And I can still look good, right? So you got to redefine for you what a sustainability is. So the reason why we want to talk about this a little bit on this call today is that I'm going to be super honest with you. And, nothing that I'm always honest, right? I'm a little bit disappointed this summer, okay? Because I see a lot of clients literally like totally not using the system that we provided, to stay on track during the summertime. Yes, provided that you worked hard, between the months of January and now, to be able to enjoy yourself in the summer. But there is a difference between, like I said, sustainability, enjoying yourself mindfully, and literally just blowing everything out of proportion. And some of you are going to come back soon from your vacations, and you are going to be very upset with your results. Right. And I really hope we're not going to be getting messages, that this doesn't work, because some of you we can even reach right now, right? Like, you're completely gone and we don't even know what the hell is going on. So, but here's the thing, right? I think that 2 things that are happening here. Number 1 is the sustainability, really redefine that. And number 2 is your why. I think it's so easy for us to forget our why, to forget why you started this, especially when you are in the place that you start to feel good, right? That you're not as miserable as you were before the program, that you forget. Like sometimes, right, when we are in the middle of the storm, we think everything is terrible, but then when things goes and we feel a little bit better, we tend to forget where you came from, right? But that doesn't mean that if you don't continue that journey, that you're not going to go back to that. And that weight comes back really fast, right? And that's a very dangerous place to be, ladies. I'm going to tell you, because I don't know why that is. I am going to definitely give you this answer at some point, because I have a call with some of the doctors that I want to ask on this. I want to ask this on a scientific level. I don't know the answer for this yet, but my experience has been that the woman over 40, I'm talking about 45, between 45 and 55, 60, that lose the weight the first time, when you gain it back, it's way harder to lose the second time. We are experiencing that with the ladies that have gained the weight back because they just literally dropped the ball. Now, mind you, I have received several messages in this last month of clients that have graduated the program that are following what we taught. And I can read a text. One of them is Christy, and she's like, everything you taught me, it's working. I'm doing it, and it's working. And she's not even in the program anymore. I have another one that just messaged us, Angela. I always call her Angelia. She just posted on Facebook right now. Same thing. She was like, she messaged me and Coach Audra, ladies, I am so happy and I'm so grateful that everything you guys taught me, it's working. I have another one that I can talk, Tammy, same thing. She finished the program. She's crushing it on her own. Messaged me the other day. She's like, girl, you taught me well because I am flipping crushing it, you know? So, and that's the thing that I always told you. Yes, I would love for you to stay with us forever. But when you're done, you're done. When I know you're ready, I know you're ready. I'm the first one to say, girl, you ready. Go fly on your own, right? But when you're not ready, I also tell you, you're not ready. You know, you're going to leave and you're going to fall out and you're going to come back crying. You're not ready. So buckle down, figure out your finances, but don't leave yet, because there will be a time that you will be able to leave and I'll be the first one to release you. Obviously, I can force you to stay in the program regardless, but we just know we have been doing this for a long time and we understand the mindset. I have another client that just messaged me. She wants to come back. She's like, girl, I gained all the way back. Like, I need to come back. And I'm like, okay, let's jump on a call. Let's talk. What happened? She's like, well, I went on a trip to Europe for 20 days. I ate like a pig. I did whatever I want, you know, and then I haven't logged at all. My workouts hasn't been the same. And it just started creeping up. And now I gain all the way back and I feel like shit and and I know it's my fault and I didn't utilize the tools you gave me. I was like, fine, you know, let's go. But just know, you could be the lucky one, but in my experience with the ones that gained the weight back is that way harder to lose. So just know we are in for a little challenge here, okay? Just understand that. So why we lose our why when we start to feel a little bit better. So I want to dig into that today, and hopefully I would like to bring you ladies back, because the summer is going to end, right? Summer's going to end, kids are going to go back to school, and what is going to be left is, for some of you, a very frustrating season of trying to shed the weight that you gained back because you decided that it was just too, I don't want it. It's just too much work. I don't want to do it, right? That's fine, but understand that it's because you lost connection with your why. So as we continue with this call, you know, I have invited Coach Lindsay and Coach Audra to also share a little bit. All of you come through the program through calls with me initially. And one of the things that I always ask you, you know, before we do anything to sign you into the program is, what is your why? Why are you here? Right? Why is this important for you right now? And what difference would that make in your life and the life of those that are important to you? And I always say, put it on the vision board. That's why we have a vision board party every year. So you can keep that thing in front of you, right? Why is it so important for you? Is this just in another event, or this is something that you want to create for your lifestyle? You know what I mean? That this is going to become a lifestyle for you. So we're going to chat a little bit more about this. I know Coach Lindsay has some insights, so definitely would love to hear from you, Coach Lindsay, and then Coach Audra, and then I would love to open for, you know, a discussion, right? And share with us, you know, where you are and how we can help you to get unstuck. Once again, the people that are stuck are not in this call, but I hope you watch this later, and I hope that this call today will bless you. So Coach Lindsay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Yeah, as some of you know, I don't know if you've been watching the Facebook posts that I've been posting, but I've been going live almost every week and talking about the book that I'm reading called Atomic Habits. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It's by James Clear. But this recent chapter, he talks a lot about kind of the 4 stages of developing a habit. And I think like when we are first in the program, yes, we know our why. We know the habits that we implement because we tell you to, and then you go ahead and do them. And then you get to a point and you're like, you're happy with where you are. You develop the tonnage, that you wanted. You've lost some fat, some weight, and then it just kind of peters out a little bit, right? So what I loved about this 4 stages he talks about is like when you have, there's always going, before you start a habit, there's always going to be a problem. It could be a good problem, something that you want to obtain, or it could be a bad problem, something that's happened and you need to change. And then from there, there's a craving, a desire to want something. Right? If your desire is not strong enough, your why will not be strong enough, and you will not continue those habits sustainably. So you have to have that craving, that desire, right? And I talk about it in that post too. I mean, you could either be 100% all in, really wanting something really bad, or you can be 50% all in, or 25%. But you have to know that if you are 100% in, you're going to get those results. If you are 50% in, you're going to see 50% results. And if you're 25% in, you're only going to see the 25% results, right? So if you want something really bad, you've got to crave it. You got to make your why worthwhile, because it's just not going to happen. From there is the response. That's from that craving. That's where we take action, right? That's where we implement those. That's where we do the workouts. That's where we hit those macros, right? I mean, we basically give you your macros. We customize your workouts. We tell you what to eat, when to eat. We do it for you. You just have to do it. You just got to do the action. And then if you're giving 100%, you're going to get those results. And that's the reward for your why. But a lot of the time, some people are like, I've reached that, I'm done. But then they kind of like, I'm doing it. And then they kind of fall off the wagon. You got to go back to square one again. You got to go find that problem again. You got to find a new craving. It doesn't stop. Just keep going. Whether it's like, okay, I've reached this level in my fitness. How far can I go? Or I'm toned, I'm strengthened. Maybe I take it this way now to a new level. How can I change my body this way? And then talk to us so that we are aware of your why and that we can help you achieve it. So on that note, Coach Patricia developed these amazing questions, and I'm going to read them out to you, and I would love for you to write them down. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes for each question. So grab your paper, pen, okay? All right. So the first question, what do you want to see happen for you and your health between now and the end of the year? Doesn't matter where you at in your program.
Really quick, I would love to see the coaches also doing that, if you don't mind.
Repeat that question one more time. What do you want to see happen for you and your health between now and the end of the year? Question number 2. What difference would it make in your life and in the life of the ones you love? Question number 3. Why is that important? Why is that important? Question number 4. Are you willing and able? Are you willing and able to do what it takes to accomplish those goals and create the impact you want to see in your life and the life of those around you? You are willing. Are you 100% willing? What will happen if you don't do this work? So I think when you are feeling stuck and you need to reconnect with your why, I think these are some fantastic questions to ask yourself because it really gets to the nitty-gritty of it. And it helps you develop, your why could change, right? And your why can change, and that's okay. But don't stop. There's always a new beginning, a new cycle. So I just want you to keep on going and to hold your why close and ask yourself questions and remember your why daily, because that's going to help achieve the habits that you are creating for yourself. But yeah,
I would love to see couple of people share their why, like share the answers if you don't mind. And then I would like to, to get the coaches also to share. Because I believe it will be really powerful because we are all in different levels, right? So who would like to share first? Nobody? Okay, so I'm going to volunteer you. Voluntold you. All right, Rose, I see you. You're coming in hot. You are muted, my love, so you're just gonna have to unmute yourself.
Okay.
There you go.
Ta-da. Yay, rocket scientist here. Okay, my why is really, in a nutshell, to be the healthiest version of myself so I can watch my 4-year-old granddaughter, Luna Azul, grow up, and to be able to meet my great grandchildren. Now, to be able to achieve that goal, what do I have to do? All right. What I have to do is show up for myself, which I do on a daily basis, whether it's limited or not, but I show up for myself. I have a date with me every day. And so planning my meals, planning my macros. If I'm going to an event or something and I know that there's going to be the Twinkies and the ho-hos and the ding dongs and the alcohol, I rarely will drink alcohol. But if I'm seriously going to, I will plan maybe 1 or 2 shots of tequila or 6 ounces of red wine. I'm done. Boom, there it is. Because I'm not, it's not going to be like 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. And and that's it. Those days are left those 40, 50 years ago. So I used to do that. And by the way, and planning any splurges, weighing my food, hydrating, walking every day, and working out at least 3 times a week, and then hiking and so forth. That's my sustainability plan, whether I'm with you or I'm on hiatus from coaching or whatever, but this is a revolving door lifestyle. So, yeah. And why is it important to me? Because right now I'm battling with I am conquering breast cancer. So therefore, I have to be even much more disciplined with my mindset, with my tenacity to not, to keep it together. There's just no time to fall apart and be a weenie. I have to pray and pray some more. I need to just focus on the best nutrition ever, eating the colors, exercising, being positive. And that's what I have to do for me. So basically, by the end of the year, I want to be cancer-free. I want my BMI at 24. And that's it. That is just it. Where to go?
There you are. Fantastic.
Oh, okay. So I just need to remain strong and healthy so I can achieve the goal, because my granddaughter is only 4. So if I'm going to meet my great grandchildren, I'm planning to be here another 30 years. So that's the plan, girl.
Amazing. I mean, if you can get inspired with that, I don't know what else will inspire you in life, All right, Rose, I appreciate you sharing. Love your goals, girl, and just so proud of you as always for, not falling apart and sticking to your plan, because that's your North Star and it's keeping you grounded.
Yes.
I love it. Okay.
Thank
Who
you.
else would like to share? Would like to definitely see somebody else sharing.
I can share.
All right, Sabrina, let's go.
Sorry, I wrote my stuff down on my phone, so I'm just flipping back and forth. So my why, I mean, similar to Rose in the sense that, my why is I want to be healthy and stronger and confident around with my kids. I have 3 kids and they're 11, 9, and 6. And after I had my first, I just, gained a ton of weight, and it just kind of spiraled with the second, the third, work. And I just kind of I forgot about myself. And part of it is maybe a little bit selfish, but also for me, I want to feel confident and stronger and slimmer for me. I want to be around my friends and family and not feel like I'm, the woolly mammoth of the group, So while it is like, yeah, you know, for my kids and my health, but it's also for my own personal confidence. I
Mhm.
just, that's what would make me happier around my kids and my family. Because sometimes I feel like when I'm unhappy, I tend to take it out on those around me. And I feel like when I'm in more control of myself, in terms of, yeah, like the days I go and I work out and I know I hit my macros and I know like I ate well, I drank my water, I had this, I had that, like I just feel better. Like I come home and I'm like, yeah, I killed it today, you know, and then the days that like I know I fell off, you know, like I'm just upset with myself. So
Wow.
yeah,
And why is this important for you?
to
And what is going to happen if you don't do this work?
I don't know, I just feel like I'm not going to be the best mom and wife too. You know, I feel like some of the things like when I'm not happy, I feel like it affects my marriage, like it affects my intimacy with my husband. It affects just like our day to day. And, you know, like I want that back, you know.
So good. So good. Um, you know, I would like to have a one more, and then I would like to have the coaches share very briefly, just one more person. One more lady, Seema or Christy, definitely somebody there, please. We don't have a lot of time left, so let's just
Okay,
let's go.
Hi ladies. I appreciate everybody sharing what they've already shared because I know it's sometimes hard to share when you're in a group. And um, I think both of the ladies that just spoke said things that were very personal and I think hit home for a lot of people. So I think that's great that you guys can share that. And I think listening actually to both of you, I feel like, when Patricia said, like, what is your why? And when you lose touch, I've been in the program for over 2 years now. And I realized that my why originally was that I wanted to have more energy to, play with my kids. I wanted energy. I felt like I was always tired and I was like, ugh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And I realized, I have that now actually. So I think I need to sit down and kind of look at what my why is now because it's been 2 years and things have changed. And I think I was in a place where, I felt like I was unhappy or, like where exactly what you just said about, you feel like it interacts with your children and it interferes with your relationship with your spouse. And it's amazing that I feel like all of those things actually are very much on track now. And I think that for me, um, it's hard actually. I think after doing this for 2 years that you feel like you're like, okay, I know what I'm doing. Like I've got this. I know what I'm doing. And then I'm doing it. But then I actually had to stop myself and say, are you really doing it? Like, are you actually really doing it? Because you kind of, it's like when it becomes a habit and then it becomes like you're not thinking about it anymore because it becomes so routine that you end up actually then just not necessarily doing it exactly the way you were in the beginning. And so I think sometimes it's about bringing it back, for me to bring it back just to the very simple, basic things, like you said, like weighing your food or really being mentally present when I'm doing that workout because I've done it or I've, you know, been doing it for so long. But if I really quickly share what I wrote, it was I want to do a cut, coming up here soon. So I'm trying to get ready for that so I can see some more muscle definition. I'm currently in a, you know, I don't know what phase I'm in, bulking or whatever. I don't know what I am, but and then because I want to, be in shape for this retreat coming up. And then um I also want to find out why I'm always so bloated. So that was like kind of also a goal for me, that me and Patricia have talked about a few times now. And then also I just want to be able to find some meals that are easy for every day. So I don't have to think about it so much. I don't want to waste so much energy on that anymore. I just want it to be like, this is breakfast, this is lunch, this is dinner every day, and have like 3 things and then not have to think about it. And I think the biggest thing that matters is, what difference will it make in my life is that, we all see those ripple effects when we do something, and when we feel good about ourselves, when we have the confidence, when we feel, all those things are going right. Like, I see my husband coming to the gym with me because he's like, oh, shoot, I got to do this too. And, now my daughter is like, I want to go to the gym too, mom. And I was like, okay, let's go to the gym together. And, I think seeing that ripple effect in my family is what sustains me to continue doing it. And when I look back to where I was to where I am now, I think sometimes just taking a moment to appreciate how much you have accomplished makes a huge difference, because we all started somewhere and now we're here. And to appreciate that for a minute, that maybe sometimes you don't see what you want on the scale or in the mirror, but things are changing and you are making changes. And if you look back and see that, then I think it propels you forward.
So good. So good. Wow. Love hearing from someone that has been in the program for so long, because, sometimes you're like, well, it's fresh because I just started, right? It is easy to get back to your why, but when you hear from someone that have been for so long, it's like you said, you brought so much, because the goal will change, right? And don't forget where you came from. Like, I think I started with that in the beginning of the call, right? Because it's so easy for us to forget that, and then we start falling off the wagon because we start feeling good, right? But then you go back into those bad habits, and then the thing catch up again, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this whole crap came back on me again. So would love to, very briefly, we don't have a lot of time, so just touch 3 points. I would like to hear Coach Audra and Coach Lindsay just sharing, what is your goal between now and the end of the year? Why is this important for you? And I just would like to hear from the coaches too. And that is the reason why I'm doing that, by the way. So
You want me to go?
yeah.
I guess really my health goal between now and the end of the year is just I'd like to go into another deficit again before the end of the year, and because I have physique goals that are just personal to me. Those are goals that I want to achieve. What else do you want to?
Why you said it, if you don't achieve that, what's going to happen?
Oh, if I don't do it, I mean, it's just not going to happen, right? I'm not going to hit those physique goals that I want for myself. So, but I also know that things happen in life that sometimes your goals have to change on a path, right? A lot of y'all know I spent 2 years building and not in a deficit because of my hormones. So now that they're kind of in a better place, I just came out of a deficit a couple of months ago. I'm back up to maintenance now. So I just like to hit another one and get in and out of it, because I don't enjoy being on a diet. It's miserable to me. So I like to get in and out of them. But yeah, I mean, just physique goals I have personally for myself. If I don't hit them, then I will just push on until I do.
Love it. Coach Lindsay?
Well, for me, I'm currently on a cut, and I'm excited to see what I look like by the end of that cut. But same like Audra, I think I want to tone up more. I want to be stronger. I've reached a certain level, but I know there's more to achieve, just because of being in a program and seeing what other ladies can do and all that. But I love how it's inspired my kids I love this program because it teaches women to be stronger and not focus on weight loss, but focus on building muscle. And I love how that reflects on the outside, you know, and for me to teach that to my kids is more important than that idea of weight loss. Speaking of which, but here's one right now. Yes, so, but it is important to me because of them. And I also, my mom is not the healthiest, and she's had a couple of heart attacks already. And I don't want to be like that. And I want to live a longer life so I can be there for my kiddos and be there for their kiddos and have energy and play with my grandbabies. And I want to be an advocate for health. And I think it's so important to know and control what goes in your mouth for the long-term effect. Yeah.
So good what you just said about being an advocate for health, right? Because that you don't need to be a coach to be an advocate for health. You know what I mean? In the world where we live, especially in this country, and we have doctors in this program, you know, in nurses and whatnot, you know, the real pandemic is really a health, you know, crisis that we are dealing with here. And you know, we see that all the time with our clients, you know, talking about their parents going through stuff and whatnot. And, you know, you want to be an advocate for that, right? It's not just about the weight loss. And for me, and the coaches here in our culture in this program is really about breaking this weight loss, you know, mentality. And like Coach Lynn said, using health and fitness as a tool for self-development. You know, you use the macros to show up for yourself and with excellence, and, you know, managing your health with responsibility, being responsible to your health, but being an example to your kids and your loved ones. And a responsibility that you have to maintain your marriage, you know what I mean? You know, the other day I was in the parking lot of a grocery store, and I understand, you know, I'm in my workout clothes. I mean, I think anybody would look. But it was so sad, you know, to see this couple, and the woman looked his wife looked so raggedy and so like, ugh, you know what I mean? And this guy is literally staring at me like and I'm like, you know, bro, you know what I mean? Like, your wife is right there. And then she gets in the car and she's looking really low and down, you know, like no confidence, with this I was just like, my heart just broke, because I'm like, well, but that's this is your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that a man is not going to look at a beautiful woman, even if he has a beautiful woman. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you want to, you know, maintain your relationship too, you know what I mean? And you want to show up powerfully for your man and impact him as well. Because when we do, then your husband starts to be like, oh my gosh, look at my wife. And then he starts to take care of him. And it becomes a ripple effect. And then your relationship becomes more fired up and more intimacy happens. So it's like Seema said, it's a ripple effect in your family, with your kids, with your relationship, with your parents, with your, you know, how you show up at work and your business, and, you know, with confidence. So it affects all the areas of your life, right? So becoming an advocate is just so important. And for me, you know, I'm always like, what is next? And people would be like, Patricia, what are you crazy, right? Or Coach Audrey, you're crazy. Coach Lindsay, you're crazy. Look at how you look. Like, what do you mean you have another level? Girl, I have another level. Like, yes, I'm chasing right now to a shredded stomach. Okay. And I want my cortisol levels to just be in control. You know what I mean? Like, by the end of the year, this cortisol has to come down. So, and why do I want that? Because number one, I'm going to feel more peaceful, more harmonious. I'm going to make my hormones are going to stay in check. You know, I'm not getting any younger. I'm 48. I'm going to be 49. So I'm not messing with that. Right. Because especially for us, we see way too many things going on. We're like, we are not messing with this because I know what that can do if when you're messing with your hormones. That's number one. And number two, it's going to give me more confidence, but it's going to also, you know, be an example for everybody else, not as only you as my clients, right? But as like, okay, this is what is possible. No matter what, every year I can look better and feel better and get stronger in whatever it is. There is always another level. This thing you can get as good and as strong and as fit as you wanted to be. There is no limit to this. Look at Rose at 72 is still going after. See what I'm saying? There is no, this is your life, you know what I mean? So really understand this long-term vision for you, that there is no limit in how strong and fit and healthy you can be at this age, especially. It only gets better if you know how to maintain this. And if I don't do this, I'm just gonna let myself down, you know, and I don't want that. Right? I think that's why goals are important, because I know I can achieve those goals. And to me, definition of success is creating goals and achieving those goals. That's a definition of success for me. And when I accomplish my goals, I feel so successful. It's just amazing. So I don't know what your definition of success is, but I would definitely recommend you finding the definition, right? It's just, for me, is I set my goal, and when I crush it, I feel I succeed on this thing, right? So, Coach Audrey, would love to hear from you. And if, you know, and by the end of the call, if anybody has any input, anything else to share with us, would love to hear from you as well. But what you got for us, Coach Audrey? Bring us home, girl, and you're muted.
Okay, I'm muted now, sorry. Well, I think we just need to realize that, you know, it is normal, you know, to kind of lose or experience a dip in motivation, right? We're human. And I want to acknowledge that is a normal experience. It doesn't mean you're a bad person because you've lost motivation of your why, right? We all do that. But, you know, why did you lose motivation? I think that's something that you should explore, because I think we all lose motivation, you know, to which basically is motivation to our why for different reasons, you know. Sometimes people are afraid of failure, right? So they doubt their abilities. You know, are you losing your why because you feel like you're going to fail? Are you losing your why, the motivation to your why, because you're overwhelmed and stressed out, right? Do we need to, you know, pause and, you know, try to map out our day a little bit better, so we can hit our workouts, so we can hit our food, we can hit our macros. I also think some people lose motivation because we live in a world of instant gratification, right? And we all know that getting to our fitness goal is not really, you know, instant gratification. It takes time, it takes commitment. So I think sometimes we lose our motivation for that, because it's not an instant gratification, right? So then we're like, oh, this is ever going to happen, you know? And then sometimes it's just loss of routine. We lose our motivation because we get out of routine. And finally, you know, also I think we lose motivation, because typically how to get to your why is uncomfortable, right? To get to that goal, to get to your why, you got to get uncomfortable. And none of us like to be uncomfortable. We like our cozy little environment, where we're not challenged, right? Where we're not having to overcome fear or failure or a routine, or does this kind of make sense? I think sometimes we, you know, that happens as well. So we just, you know, I think sometimes have to step back. And it's like, you know, Coach Lindsay and Coach Patricia said, you gotta come back to your why, But I also think it's important for you to embrace, why did you step outside of that? Right? Why did you lose your motivation for that? And that if you know why you lost your motivation for your why, it may be a little bit easier for you to get back to your why, because you know what to address, because you know the reason why you kind of stepped back from it. So I think sometimes we just have to do that self audit, that again, that we sometimes don't take the time to do. And it also could be, like Seema said earlier, has your why changed? That's okay. And if it has changed, then let's get to the new one and let's address the goals and map those out to get to that new why. If your why hasn't changed, then address why you feel like you have stepped away from it and what actions and goals can we implement to get back on the path to it. But just also, I just want to reiterate that it is normal to, kind of lose that motivation every once in a while. We just have to, but know you can get it back. It's there and you can always get it back. Have a support system. That's why you have coaches, right? That's why we're here, is to motivate you to get it back. But also, where are the people around you? Talk to them. Make sure they know your goals. They know your why, so they can help you as well. And they can be a part of it. Because I love what Coach Lindsay said earlier. I love all my mamas that involve their children in their fitness, because you're going to raise healthy humans. And this needs a lot more healthy humans. And I love when Millie, she's not on the call, she's got 2 little ones, and she sent me, y'all, the cutest picture. I mean, it always makes my eyes water, because they were doing push-ups, and little ones, they're so little, but they were down on the floor, like, looking like they're doing push-ups. It was just the cutest thing I had ever seen. So, and I think I've told some of y'all, I had very fond memories of my mother taking me to the gym. It's a very close, fond memory I have of the bonding with my mom, was going to the gym, and probably the reason I do what I do today. So yeah, involve everybody in your why and your goals. It'll make it even bigger and greater.
Amen. I love that. So we're going to go on and on with this call, ladies. I would love to see if anybody wants to share anything that impacted you. Seema, Jill, yeah, with both of you, the best solution, and I talked to Seema already, is going to be the flush. This is the game changer. So we're going to definitely chat on that. Same for you, Jill. Jill, do you have your hands up? Do you want to say anything before we end? We have a couple of minutes left.
Well, yes. So yeah, summer, can be hard. We're running around. We're kind of out of our normal routine. It's a little more flexible. And I know I've had a lot of like church things going on. And so it's like people bring food and I don't always know what's going to be there. So I successfully navigated one time. I saved some carbs, I saved some fats, and I made sure I had a protein shake before I went, because I knew that, like, I don't eat meat, I'm vegan. So I knew there wasn't going to be anything for me. And so that was good. But like what keeps coming to my mind is like habits and patterns, and then like decision fatigue. So one of the things I was thinking about during this call is sometimes there's this decision fatigue, and I see some habits, I see some patterns, and like just a minute ago, my daughter, I had friends over, so I missed some of the call, and we were playing a game, and my daughter brought out some no-bake cookies, and before I knew it, like I had eaten 3, and I'm like, whoa, and my stomach started hurting before I even realized what I was doing. And so what I realized is, in the moment is not the time to make that decision. I need to make it beforehand. I need to know, what am I going to do in this situation? Because it's not something that just shows up. I knew my friends were going to come over, and no, somebody might surprise you, but like, if you already decide, what am I going to do in that situation? Then you already know. So like, I could have put a plate of carrots in front of me, or I got some fresh blueberries. They're amazing. I could have snacked on them while everybody else was eating cookies. But before I knew it, like I said, I'm sitting there putting 3 cookies in my mouth, and I'm like, whoa, what am I doing? And now my stomach hurts. So I realized that I need to take some time to support myself before I get put in those situations, because I know they're going to come up. They're part of life. So I just made some tea, and I've got this amazing tea that I love. It feels really good in my stomach. So I'm going to have kind of like a conversation with myself and start writing some things down about how I can better support myself, because those cookies aren't supporting me and I don't feel good. And, my stomach's bloating, and I'm like, whoa. Because I have been doing really, really good, and people are noticing, and I'm noticing, and it feels amazing. But I don't want to sit there and let
You're looking good, girl. This girl gained
one
8
moment.
pounds of muscle. 8 pounds of muscle. Like,
feels
badass.
amazing.
So happy
Right?
for you. Yeah.
But now, so in my mind, though, it almost feels like I've undone everything, when I know that's a lie. So again, this is patterns. These are habits. These are things that I'm becoming aware of, that I'm going to start journaling about, so that I can see what's tripping me up, because this is what's been some of my pattern. I'll do really good for a pretty good period of time, and then I'll completely mess up. But like last year, I had a different coach, and he got me through Christmas. It was amazing. I was so proud of myself come January. So I know I can do it. And that's where I'm like, all right. So anyway, those are a few of my thoughts about like what I can do differently and set myself up for success. Make those decisions beforehand, not in the moment, because that's where you're going to be at your weakest. I'm like, I'm tired. I didn't sleep well last night. And then friends came over, and we've been out in the sun all day. And so, yeah, I reached for the cookies. And then before I knew, I'm like, whoa. So now I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to write some things down and start journaling and kind of looking at my patterns and habits and make some better decisions beforehand.
I love it. And just, to add to this, once again, for me, it's all about the inner work, and it's all about the self-development. People talk so much about mastering yourself, like mastering whatever. This is all the hot topics now. But how can you master a self that you don't know? And you can only know yourself if you truly, do the work, right? You got to do the work. It doesn't need to be all the time, but you cannot just like, it is what it is, and I'm just going to keep going, because that's not going to support you, right? So anything in life that is worth, anything that is going to take us to the next level is going to take being intentional about it. Right. And for me, the thing that my biggest fear, I'm going to tell you right now, my biggest fear as a human being is to being complacent and really not grow. Like I'm terrified that my next birthday, I am not better than I was my last birthday. I always go by birth to birthday, and on every birthday, I'm like, okay, what did I improve in my body, in my mindset, and the way I show up in my relationships, and the way that I show up in my finances, and the way that I show up with everything in my social media and whatever, because obviously I have a different lifestyle. But I'm terrified to not improving myself every year, to say, wow, I'm a different person this year than I was last year, instead of looking back and saying, crap, I didn't improve, right? So that's what fires me up. And I really pray and wish that you ladies will always be looking forward to how can I improve myself every year and become a better version of me every year, for me and for my family. And that takes intention, that takes work. And that's, to me, is what it's like to live a fulfilled and purposeful life. Not to say that we can have fun here and there, but even my fun, at least for me, I plan everything, because I just love to feel that everything I do has a purpose. But anyways, 6:04, at least there, he's 8:04. I'm gonna let you ladies go. So I pray that you share this message. I'm praying a lot today. This message with the other ladies in the group. Coach Lindsay is going to post. So if you can tag or just comment there just for a second, because I really believe that this message today is gonna, help so many women in the program, and then is going to help, you coming back from the summer with this message to just go all in again and do what it needs to take. Because if you don't grab a hold of this right now, sorry, you're gonna go backwards and you're gonna be miserable. I don't want that for you. So grab a hold of things right now. Vacation is ending, everything's gonna come back to normal, and you want to continue progressing. Okay, so we love you, and just give some support when we post so people can actually watch this call. All right, girls, see you in 2 weeks from Brazil. Talk to you later. Bye.